S Factor was started by a woman, Sheila Kelly. She had a lifelong history of being a professional ballet dancer who, in her research for a role called Dancing at the Blue Iguana, she began learning this stripping and pole dancing movement in the clubs. It was a very different way of moving, making the curvature more pronounced, the exaggerated movements. So she developed, based on her history with dance and exercise and fitness, this program that really not only gets you fit physically, but gets you in touch with your sensuality and your femininity. I saw Sheila on TV, and for someone who, believe it or not, is painfully shy, I thought it would be a great challenge for myself to have to get up and do this movement in front of a bunch of strangers. So I started taking class, and it was terribly frightening and intriguing at the same time, and so I went again and then again, and I told myself every class, oh, if it's too much, I don't have to go, and that was about 8 years ago.
Breathe as your chest sweeps just above the surface of the floor. And exhaling and feeling the roundness of your spine.
S Factor workout that we do on the floor, it is almost getting into a meditative state and really focusing on your body and how it feels to move. And as a woman, you go to a gym and they're kind of, more or less set up for guys. If you've ever been on some equipment, they're not built for women all the time. But in our exercise, you don't need any equipment. The pole is optional. And you just move into the curves of your body. So it does feel very meditative. It does feel elating. And sometimes when you see the students moving, as I watch them as a teacher, I just see my students in this wonderful state of bliss. And then I also make them sweat and they get angry at me. And we bring it back down, and then we pick it up to our feet and we just circle our hips and celebrate our bodies and the way they move. All right, so one of the elements that we use for fitness and fun here at S Factor is the pole. Well, I know the pole has this sort of naughty stigma, but it's really not that different as a ballet bar or any gymnastic apparatus. It's really in how you use it. And sure, if you want to think of it as, sexy monkey bars or grown-up monkey bars, it's kind of like that. So when I teach a new student how to use the pole, we start with a really basic introduction. First, just feeling the way your hand fits around it, making sure that you have a solid grip. Then we start into the basic movements, and one of the very first movements that we use is what we call a swing walk, where you take your dominant hand just slightly above your head and lean your body out and away from the pole and give yourself a little swing as you step and walk. Simple as that. So I started, just learning the movements, and I found my body taking on a completely different shape, and I actually have muscles in places that I didn't know I had them. So once my body started changing, and I found that it was a great form of fitness and a great challenge, and that it kind of provoked, some interesting reactions out of people, I was hooked. Now from the swing walk, we move into the firefly. This is our first trick. We're going to take your dominant hand, again, just right above your head, your other hand just below that, hooking your left heel on the pole. You pull your hips out and let them swing off to the left, picking up your right foot, a nice little spin, landing on the balls of your feet. Ta-da! Simple as can be.
What kind of classes have you had?
I haven't had classes.
Then what are you doing here?
Every woman comes for her own reason. If I have a class full of 12 women, there's 12 different reasons they're there. And more than just the pole, I think that the aspect of really getting in touch with yourself, trying something that might be seen as a little dangerous or odd or shocking is kind of interesting to people. What we do here at S Factor is pretty different than what you would see in the clubs or in the movie showgirls. In the movie, obviously it's their job, and our students here really do it for themselves, and they realize once they walk out of these doors that they dance for themselves because it feels good. It's a hobby, and it makes them feel free, and it makes them feel sexy or playful or silly or whatever it is they want to get out of it, or whatever they were feeling that day, they can just let it out on the pole. One of the tricks that require a little more of our upper body strength and core strength is called corkscrew. Place your dominant hand just below hip level. Your other hand comes up just about eye level, and using the power of your arms and your core, you curl your body right around the pole. And from here you could go down to the floor, or you could peel yourself up a little bit higher, go upside down, and bring yourself back down to the floor. Some of the moves that you would see in showgirls or in clubs, we do here at S Factor. So we're inspired by what those women do in the clubs, and I'm inspired when I see a lot of those crazy acrobatic tricks. And another aspect of it is we draw from what's in that club, that incredible display of feminine power, and we draw it back for ourselves. Instead of letting it be out there for someone to throw dollar bills at, we bring it in here and have your girlfriends cheer for you. Yeah! Elizabeth Berkley's performance, I mean, I know she really had to train hard to be a dancer, and I give her huge respect. I'm sure some of the stuff she had done and take after take and all of that was really difficult. So, I mean, I think she did a bang-up job, and, you know, who doesn't remember Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls? I mean, come on, she's adorable. With our inverted tricks, the first one that we learn is a little something called the snake, where you take your dominant hand at shoulder level, your other hand comes right above, you slowly curl your knees up into your chest, place your left leg on the front side of the pole, your other leg right behind, and this is your snake. Now this is the foundation of most of our inverted movements, and from here this trick moves into several things, including the dive, where you can let go, a little move we like to call the pole cat, and also bring it back around into a helicopter or our descending angel. So any of these movements can be learned from the foundation of the snake. Another move that we like to use here at S Factor is a climb. It requires a lot of upper body and core strength. And from this climb, you can get yourself up the pole and do all sorts of cool things. But your basic climb starts with taking your dominant hand just above your head, taking your dominant leg and pressing your shin onto the pole with your knee on one side, your foot on the other. Taking your other hand just above your dominant, you start to pull up, crossing your ankles, pulling your body into the pole. And just repeat that motion until you make your way up as far as you want to go. Once you're up, you bring your legs forward, deep into your thighs. You're going to grip the pole, and you can hang out and enjoy the view. Let your legs play. Or if you'd like to do something a little bit fancier, like the layout, you can lay yourself back. So that your back is to the pole with your foot hooking, and slowly slide your way down towards the floor. Then you can come down and scoot out on your back or land on your hands, taking a step out. Good. Have at it, girls. Oh, there you go. When I'm moving on the pole and when I'm in my dance and kind of in my zone, it's, to me, the part that's most powerful is just the feeling of freedom, where I can let go. I also, there's a little bit of me that likes a kind of a little bit of rebelliousness in there. So for all the dance teachers that said I wasn't coordinated, haha. But when you're letting your body fly, you have a moment of complete surrender, where you kind of surrender to momentum, surrender to gravity. You have to let your body relax. So there's also, in that surrender piece, you find a sense of power. When you can feel your body climb to the top of the pole and feel your muscles engaging, it's also a really intense sensation of power. There is a great rush that comes with it. And sometimes when I'm done dancing, I don't know what I did, but I just know it felt really good, and I want to do it again. It's fun, it's fitness. We take the taboo away from it, and it gives you, the ability to fly. So there you have it. Those are some of our favorite S Factor moves. Swing walk, the firefly, the corkscrew, the snake, the dive, the pole cat, helicopter, the climb, the layout, our descending angel. I hope you enjoyed watching them. It was my pleasure to teach you. And just remember, anytime that you're on the pole, relax and have fun. Thanks a lot.